Good evening. Welcome to Mid-Valley Bible Church's prayer time for Wednesday evening, January 27th. My name is Doug Hornock and I serve as the pastor here at Mid-Valley. If you're watching this video at the hour where it was posted, which is 7 o'clock, unless something dramatic has happened, I, along with several others from our church, will be at the Bluffdale City Council meeting where sometime tonight the 5 city council members will be voting on rezoning the land east of our main campus. This vote to rezone the property will allow us as a church to sell our land to a developer, 4.5 acres, for a 26-unit, 55 and older gated community. And just as a reminder, we're still going to retain sufficient land for us to increase our parking to 300 spaces. And easily with 2 services or even more creative ways, we're confident that we can minister to a lot more people than we currently do. This is a development that we've been praying for, working for, planning for more than 2 years now. And so I cannot emphasize enough the importance for you to be praying. I have no idea how this vote is going to go. At times I have a great deal of confidence and optimism and feel very good about it. And other times I have my doubts as to how they're going to vote. But whatever the outcome of tonight's vote, we are not going to give up, at least not yet. Yesterday I took Connie to the airport. She's visiting our daughter and her husband Eric and their kids in St. Louis for a week. And as we were going to the airport, we were talking about tonight's city council meeting and the vote. And she said, if the door is closed, we'll just have to go in through the window. And that sounds pretty good. Because if the city council says no, we're not going to give up. We're not going to roll over and quit. Because we are convinced that this is going to be just a delay, a test of our faith, intended to make us more humble and more dependent upon God. It may be that the timing isn't right, or maybe something better is going to come along. So however tonight's vote goes, we're not going to give up and take this as a definitive no. Yesterday at the men's Bible study, as we were talking about this, one of the men wisely reminded me that just like the persistent widow before the unjust judge, we need to keep on praying, and he's right. You remember that Jesus in Luke 18 tells a parable about the importance of persistent, unrelenting, continual prayer. And Jesus told them a parable to the effect that they ought always to pray and not lose heart. And the parable is this. In a certain city there was a judge who neither feared God nor respected man. And there was a widow in that city who kept coming to him and saying, "Give me justice against my adversary." For a while he refused. But afterward he said to himself, "Though I neither fear God nor respect man, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will give her justice, so that she will not beat me down by her continual coming." And the Lord said, "Hear what the unjust judge says. And will not God give justice to his elect, who cry to him day and night? Will he delay long over them? I tell you, he will give justice to them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth?" What Jesus is saying there is when you don't get the answer to your prayers and you're convinced that that is God's will, it's what is right and just, and you are asking with the right motives, Jesus says, I want you to keep on praying. I don't want you to give up. Jesus is telling us, in contrast to this unjust judge who was unwilling to listen, he's a just God who's fair and righteous in all of his decisions and ways. God is always on the side of those who are right. Second, God is a loving God, and he knows his people by name and promises to save them and meet their needs. And finally, he's a wise God who knows when best to answer our prayers. In other words, God's timing is perfect. And so no matter what tonight's outcome is, we need to keep on praying. J.C. Ryle, who was a evangelical Anglican bishop in Liverpool, England, who lived in the 19th century, offers this very practical summary of the lessons that we should learn from this parable. He writes, "Do you ever feel a secret inclination to hurry your prayers or shorten your prayers, or become careless about your prayers or omit your prayers altogether? Let us be sure, when we do, that it is a direct temptation from the devil. He is trying to sap and undermine the very citadel of our souls and to cast us down to hell. Let us resist the temptation and cast it behind our backs. Let us resolve to pray on steadily, patiently, perseveringly, and let us never doubt that it does us good. However long the answer may be in coming, still let us pray on. Whatever sacrifice and self-denial it may cost us, still let us pray on." And so with that reminder before us, let's now go before the Lord in prayer.